What is the dumbest 100% serious thing someone has said to you? A girl I know got a nose job. When I complimented her on her new look, she said, "I didn't do it for me. I didn't want my kids to be born with big noses." Those poor kids. I was once making small talk with an acquaintance, and I told her I'd flown out to visit my family in Korea over the summer. She got this smug grin on her face and said, "You can't fly to Korea. It's an island." You can't fly to Korea. It's an island. I'm having trouble figuring this riddle out. I've been a cook for 15 years. One time a server asked me to roast a chicken breast she forgot to ring in. I said okay, it will be a few minutes. It's still a bit raw. Just give it to me. It's fine, she says. I tell her I don't feel like giving anyone salmonella poisoning today and she will have to wait. Her jaw drops and her face turns red. She rather belligerently shouts just give it to her because she's losing tip money, then adds besides, people don't get salmonella from chicken, they get it from salmon. You're a cook, you should know that by now. Every person in that room did the slow neck turn of WTF did I just hear and just stared at her. Dude, it's not a joking matter. Chickenella poisoning is serious. Stephen Hawking is British, but he doesn't have an accent. Me, unfortunately. You should get off your tablet while it's storming. Lighting can travel through the Wi-Fi and shock you, my mother. This reminds me of a post that told of Up's mother running around the house, shutting all the windows in the house to stop the Wi-Fi getting out. When someone said their food was too hot, a friend said to put it in the microwave on defrost to cool it down. Maybe his has a frost setting and you misheard him. We were in the car and an ambulance passed us with the lights on. My friend turned to me with a very serious look on her face and asked, "If you were a blind and deaf car driver, how would you know to pull over for an ambulance?" This became my senior quote. I had a similar thought the other day. My young sister asked me why ambulances have flashing lights. I said it was to get the attention of drivers, especially those who may be deaf. I then thought to myself the loud sirens must be to get the attention of blind drivers. Had a drunk guy come through the drive-thru at Taco Bell and asked if we sell tacos. I said let me check. My mother last week while I was eating some buffalo wings. Is it real buffalo? She also said to my dad, did you know the human eye can only see 26 miles? Because that's how far away the horizon is. My dad instantly came back with I didn't know the moon was 26 miles away. She was stunned. It took me too long to realize what your dad meant and why your mom was wrong. A friend was totally confident he would be able to survive a plane crash because of his tuck and roll technique. He was 100% sober. Until probably 12 or 13 years old I was pretty confident I could jump just before hitting the ground, in the case of a plummeting elevator or a plane crash. I don't worry about the price of gas going up. I only ever put $20 in at a time. I say this, it's a joke every time, but I still say it cause it's funny. Years ago while working at a cafe a couple came up to me and asked if Saddam Hussein was Russian. The Iraq war had just begun so I snickered and said, of course not. The boyfriend turned to his girlfriend with a smug, victorious look and said, see, I told you he was German. If you're not Russian you're obviously German. I don't see what's wrong here. It's really dangerous to take only half an ecstasy pill. Sometimes the pills aren't actually ecstasy. It's like 50% speed and 50% heroin. So if you only take half, you might accidentally take just the speed or just the heroin half, which makes it way more dangerous. This one is tremendous. I used to work at Best Buy and I had a customer, lady in her 30s, come in with her plasma television on the flat cart. She says I need the plasma refill. So I give the old customer service fake laugh because I thought it had to be a joke, but the look on her face and P-tone showed that she was serious. I took her to the home theater department and from a distance I can hear her going off about plasma refill prices or shouldn't the warranty cover the plasma. I bet you her husband convinced her of this. At least I hope so because it would be genius. Mine's a little more lighthearted. When someone is whistling, do you ever have the desire to stick a baby carrot in their mouth? Just for the record, I have never had that desire. I do now. My girlfriend once said the clouds were behind the moon. She will also hit me when she sees this. One night the clouds were very thin as wispy while the moon was bright, and I made the comment that it almost looked like the clouds were behind the moon. My wife asked how did I know they weren't. Our 8-year-old explained it to her. You have roads in Spain? I live on a Caribbean island and people think I live in a hut in the jungle. This is only half true, god dang it. A drive-through girl heard me speaking my language on the phone when I was waiting for my food, and she kept saying it was cool that I was bilateral. I asked if she was referring to triangles or something, but she said no, bilateral like a person. You're like a trade agreement, like a really cool trade agreement. I had a guy in a pub, completely adamant to the point of red-faced anger, swearing on the Bible that you can see New York from the Donegal coast on a good clear day. I was in tears laughing. New York must be 26 miles away. I drove past a Kia dealership the other day with my wife and she just started freaking out. She yelled, "When did that get here? Can we go?" Then she just gets really quiet and looks away. I pause and then realize what is happening and say, "You thought that was an IKEA?" Yeah, we've driven past that dealership almost every day for over a year. A woman stopped me in the grocery store when I was in my early teens to tell me that I could cure my acne by rubbing pea juice all over it. I assure you, she was dead serious. That's great, but my acne is the reason I can't rub pea juice on my face. You can't get pregnant if the girl is on top because the sperm can't fight the extra gravity. My first child was conceived with my old lady on top. The sperm weren't gonna make it, so I turned her on her head and shook her like a bottle of Italian dressing to help em out. I heard two girls talking on the bus to my class. Girl 1, let's go to Hawaii this summer. Girl 2, I wish. I don't like to fly though. Girl 1, it's fine. I think the bridge is almost finished. We can just drive. These girls were students at a university. Italy should sell the Eiffel Tower to help Greece's debt. He was serious too. Canada should sell the Empire State Building to help recapture El Chapo. That the water in Finding Nemo looks realistic but is actually CGI. No crap, Sherlock. The whole movie is. Well, if you just work hard and put your mind to it, you'll walk again. Because willpower will repair the gap in my spinal cord. Thanks, restaurant host. I appreciate your high opinion of my willpower. Relevant username if I ever saw one. He thought that human sperm and a store-bought chicken egg equals a live creature. Or really salty scrambled eggs. The earth is flat and the edges are covered in heavy layers of snow that no one can cross. Uncle. He also said that the moon landing is fake, gravity is fake, airline companies are in on a conspiracy and much more. Very fun argument. I'll tell you that. You can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. This happened last night at the bar I work at. I get a ticket for 2 Chardonnay, one with ice. Alright, one with ice, one as it's supposed to be. There we go. 3 minutes later in storms this lady with 2 wine glasses in her hand. Look at this, she says, and somewhat slams the glasses onto the bar. I am a little in shock that the glasses didn't break and did as told. I looked at the glasses. Yes, one Chardonnay with ice, one without. What's the matter, Mom? I ask. Why did she get more wine? She asks annoyed. More wine? I ask. There's not more in either one. Both have 120 milliliters exactly, right as it's supposed to be. Would you like some ice too? But that one is fuller, and she points at the one with ice. Yes, it has ice in it, I reply. Why does she get more wine with the ice? Why don't I get more wine? Look, this one has that much more wine, showing the difference between the glasses by pinching her fingers. Well, you get where this is going. The lady didn't understand that if you fill 2 glasses of wine and add ice into one, the ice will make it look like it's fuller. But that's just because the ice takes up space. I had to literally show her that it was just the ice making it look like the glass is fuller, which it of course was, but not with more wine. Even then I think she still though she was being mistreated. Even crows understand displacement. The spork is the devil's utensil because it is the amalgamation of the masculine fork and the feminine spoon and is trying to blur gender lines in society. Till David Bowie was a spork. I used to work at a call center for a wireless service provider. A woman called in inquiring about how much we charge to use her phone when she was traveling internationally. I said it depends on the country and asked where she was headed. As serious as can be, she responds, Wyoming. I barely got to my mute button before I erupted in laughter. Mom, Wyoming is part of the United States. I'll be deep in the cold ground before I recognize Wyoming. Had long hair when I was younger. Girl approached me and said God hates long hair on a guy. I said, what about Samson? Do you like Bon Jovi? No, I don't eat Italian food. Ask him her about Elon Musk. So two fish are in a tank, and one says to the other, how do we drive this thing? I hope you enjoyed the video and feel smarter. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.